good morning, good afternoon, and good night. And welcome to the Dawn of Humanity here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast. Welcome, guys. I am so excited to be back here tonight to talk the one, the only Attack on Titan, the final season, part two, season finale. This is awesome. This is great. So much to talk about on the finale of part two of the final season, which is the finale of the final arc of. Okay, guys, I need help. We're doing the final part of part two of the final season of Attack on Titan. So much to talk about here at the Amateur Taku Podcast. We have so much to say. What a powerful episode. I had to watch it twice. I had to watch it twice. I had to write notes. I had to go back to the book. I had to do so many things. This is amazing. I am so excited. If you guys love what we do here at the Amateur Otaku Podcast, welcome. Make sure you click on that subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Click on the like button. Click on that bell for notifications. So you guys do not miss any single coverage of Attack on Titan, the final season, My Hero Academia manga, random anime, movies, and series, Dress Up Darling. I don't know, anything anime related. We cover everything here. So, and if you love to listen to us in podcast form, our podcast library is growing and is available everywhere. Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Radio Public, Stitcher, Spotify, Anchor, Podbean. No, that's the one that we don't. They don't like us at Podbean, but we're everywhere else. But I'm so excited. You guys can tell I'm super pumped. I'm, of course, here with the awesome Isaac Wolf and the unique Mike Ackerman, Michael Thomas, and I was Cinephile. Guys, okay, first of all, Isaac, it needs to stop.
How long has he had all of these? That's my question. It's like
he's had it
is
for a while.
ready.
He's like, I have a feeling that at some point he's gonna take control of the Amateur Otaku Twitter, and when the show is over, all the memes are just gonna like be dropped like a nuclear bomb.
Yeah, he
And
probably
I
has them all
guess
scheduled already.
One, this was amazing. Yes, yes. You know what, Isaac? Let's do this before we jump into the episode and talk about the amazingness and discuss the news of the announcement, which I'm not going to discuss right now. We got to do that at the end of the episode. Isaac, you want to talk to us about some music?
Yeah, it got announced a while back that yes, something off that I can't really understand is that they are going to do a tribute album for Attack on Titan, and it's gonna be a soothing jazz album that is going to help you go to sleep.
That
not
sounds amazing.
I'm not even kidding you.
I'm aware.
It's just Attack on Titan and being able to sleep.
Here's my thing:
Okay.
is I think I'm gonna fall asleep on this album, and then halfway through, it's just Zeke screaming, and I turn into a Titan in my sleep.
Okay, that's next level weird, because the only way that happens is if that's weird. I don't know what to say to that. I got no words.
I need to get a hold on that CD, yes, or at least hope it gets put up on Spotify or something, just to listen to it.
Yes, it needs to happen. And you're gonna share with us. And I don't know why, but I have a feeling that we're gonna see like a picture of like Isaac with like a cup of tea and like a scarf, like full on weeb hipster mode, listening to jazz inspired by Attack on Titan. This one's called The Rumbling. Like a philosopher.
I love
Isaac-
it. We need to do that now.
Damn it. I have to stop coming up with great ideas. Okay, so guys, first of all, we not Perp, we see you. We'll see you, brother. Salute, my man. Always joining us for reviews. It's awesome. It's great to have you here always. How about we jump in, guys? Let's talk about episode 87, chapter 87, the dawn of humanity. I have way too much to say as usual, but even more with this one because I'm only going to say one thing and then I'm going to pass it around. But this was a perfect way to end part 2. That's my take. It was just pure perfection. And like it wouldn't have been possible without the amazing build-up from the previous episodes, even the slow ones. But that's my main takeaway. Isaac, thoughts? General thoughts?
I mean, at first, for an anime only fan, I wonder if it was something like when they did a flashback. If it was something like, did she think is what could have been mode, all things considered, because everyone was so happy-go-lucky and all that kind of yes. I was just thinking.
I don't know.
Back.
That's I find that weird because I don't think. I mean, there were clear indications that this was like a flashback as opposed to a what-if scenario.
Yeah,
but
then
I could see.
How, I wonder how many did think that because honestly, I totally forgot that scene. In the manga.
There's a reason for it. Because they kind of sneaked this thing into this, which is why that's part of my argument of why it's perfect. And it's on my notes, but I'm not going to skip it.
Was it in the manga though?
Yeah.
Yes,
it was.
Okay.
It felt like a filler, but it was definitely in the manga.
Yeah, and how it was.
Yeah.
And before I say anything, Mike, you go. General thoughts.
General thoughts on this episode. It was a good episode. I don't know how I feel about it. This being the cliffhanger, like leaving us off on this note, because we spent all part of this season, right? The second part, building up to the rumbling and everything, and we get it. We get a glimpse of it, but it really is like showing us that what Eren's fighting for, which I like. Right? This is what he is fighting for, the freedom he's fighting for.
Right.
And so I like how we used it to frame Eren's like point of view of everything. It's like he wants them to have good times like this. However, leaving me with that for 8 months, a year, however long it's going to take for us to get part 3, which should be the final part of this season. I don't know. It just kind of left me with like, it was good, but I don't want to wait 9 months to see the second half of this. It kind of just fizzled out for me towards the end.
So go ahead. Did you feel that way did you feel in that way at any time, Isaac? By any chance?
I mean, I can see where Mike is coming from, but we have to also think about it. The first part ended with them, with the Marleys attacking them to getting Gabi and Falco back.
Right.
And you see him transform into the Attack Titan. So, and now they are doing a cliffhanger of him being essentially the founding Titan. It's coming sort of like full circle, so to speak. So I can understand. So I think it's also.
I guess my thing is
mode.
I guess my thing is the fight to get to the boat, right? Which was the 2 episodes prior. I feel like would have been a better stopping point. Like this episode, this inner monologue for Mikasa could have been moved up, and we could have ended with them like fleeing, getting on the boat, and that could have been the cliffhanger. I don't feel like it was a strong enough cliffhanger for me if that's the way they wanted to go about it. But also keep in mind, this is still the same season. It's not like we're going into season 6, right? We're still in one arc, one season, so it's not going to be like, jaw-dropping cliffhangers every single time.
Right.
Even though we kind of got that with, we just see the Titans stomping throughout the world.
So it's very interesting. Everything you guys are saying is interesting, and I'm excited because of what you guys are saying, because it makes me think, because I don't think that way, but also it opens me up to what other people are thinking, and probably a lot of viewers, especially anime onlys, because I'm pretty confident a lot of people probably felt like Mike, and it would make sense that they would, because let's I think it's, you know what, because of what you just said, Mike, I think it's safe that we need to talk about the announcement. It needs to happen, right? We got to do it now. I don't think we can wait till the end.
Yeah, we
Thank
it
the
impacts
Lord
this
that it
episode
was
hard.
a part 3 and not the movie.
Yes. So the way that was announced, as soon as the episode aired in Japan, as soon as that episode ended, the Twitter for NHK announced that Attack on Titan, the final season, the final arc, is coming out on 2023. Because we know it as part 3, but they're calling it the final arc in Japan. So it makes me think about the organization of the episodes. The first part was 16 episodes. This last part was 12. This one is probably going to be between 7 and 9. And what I like about this is that, as Isaac was actually bringing to the forefront very well, is the first part, it's all about the assault on Marley, right? Ending with Marley's assault on Paratus. This one all has to do about how Eren achieves the rumbling and how the rumbling begins. Now, here's why I think that this is a perfect cliffhanger. Because think about it. The rumbling hasn't done anything yet. They only left Paratus. They haven't destroyed anything at all. They just started destroying the world.
Yeah.
So when we jump into part 3, we're in the middle of the destruction that the rumbling brings. And because it's actually destroying everything, and the battle to try and stop Eren,
which is great. Again, I really enjoyed this episode. I just feel like for this half, we're setting up the rumbling. The intro is literally yelling rumbling at us every time we start an episode, and to your very point, we don't really see it. And I feel like that's just kind of a weird, I don't know, it's this weird middle ground of this season where it's like, okay, we spent 13 episodes building this rumbling up, showing it in the intro, singing about it in the intro. Every single episode is the road to the rumbling, and then you cut it off, which on one hand does make for a very interesting cliffhanger and stopping point. But on the other, it's kind of like, what were we really doing all this time? You know? And again, no, it's not a knock on the episode itself. It's just a very interesting way to kind of cut it off and say, yep, you're going to have to wait to actually see the thing we've been teasing for the last 20 episodes.
Right. And it's funny. And you know what? I like the way you're saying, it's an interesting way to frame it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why I like it so much, because after the rumbling began, this particular section of the final season, it's all about the morality that's the main theme. Everyone's choices and what is driving everyone's choice, and people actually taking power of their choices. So, and I think that for the longest time we've been saying, where's Eren? We haven't seen Eren in 6-7 episodes. What a great way to end part 2 by showcasing that he's up and about the way he's supposed to be, but the entire reasoning of everything he's doing. And so many reveals. One of the biggest reveals, of course, is that we know for a fact that the time that he punched Armin and fought with him, and how he kind of told Mikasa that he hates him, we finally know that that was a lie.
Yeah.
He was just playing the role. And I like how and I want to jump later to the whole Mikasa thing, because of course Mikasa and Eren are at the forefront of these two episodes, right? It's all about their perspective, for different scenarios. But I love how with Eren we see everything that's pushing him to do this. The fact how this is his decision, like nobody has forced him to do this. He just wants his people to be free. He wants his island, his friends, the people that he loves, not even Paradis, the people that he loves. He wants them to be free to live and be happy and make choices, right? And not have to deal with the hatred that it's in the world. Because, and I, and going back to the whole thing with Mikasa, I'm going to go there in a minute, but I like that. I like how they show Eren in this position of power where he's just not going to take that something's enough, you know? And I like how everybody is sitting. I think it's perfect. You know, the whole conversation he had with Historia. Like Historia is the character that is there to symbolize like regular humans or regular people, that the idea of genocide or the idea of taking this Machiavellian route of action that he's taking, right, and justifies the means, right, is what needs to be done. Like nobody would consider that because it's too much. It's too horrible. It's too horrifying. Like nothing will justify it. And like Eren is the one that says, I'm going to do it. And I don't care if I die. I'm not doing it for me. I'm not doing it because I want glory. I'm doing it because the hate needs to end. And even though it's horrible what he's doing, that's the kind of thing that leaves you like, damn. That's what we're doing here.
Yeah, it's a very good episode. Again, like my gripes aren't a knock on the episode itself, but I really enjoyed like you said, taking time away from Eren, right? Taking almost half the season away from Eren.
Yeah.
And then reframing every single action he's ever done through the eyes of Mikasa, which I think is fantastic, right? Like how she's questioning. People think Eren has changed. Maybe he was always this way.
Yes.
And it's just like, yeah, that it's very thought-provoking, which makes for my favorite Attack on Titan episodes. When you really think about it, those are the ones like, as much as I like killing Titans or watching Titans smash other Titans, the best episodes of Attack on Titans are the ones like this, right? Where we get to dive into the characters, understand where they are mentally, understand their motivations. Like the one thing I really love about this entire series as a whole is that we understand Zeke. We understand Eren and Levi and Hanji and Mikasa and Armin and Reiner. And so it's like all of them are the bad guy, and yet none of them are really the bad guy. And that's what I love about this story. And I really liked the way that this episode kind of handled all of that.
Yeah, it's like when you look at reality, there's so much gray. And I like how this show shows that there's so much gray, because you're always going to think that you're right, you know, just for the sake of, because it's you, you know, we are never going to be the first one to say I'm wrong. There's always that idea of us trying to be right and to do what we think. But yeah, like the rumbling hasn't caused any damage, so it ends with that. Now let's talk about everything that happens on the beginning of the episode. So for those that that have never read the manga, this is not a spoiler, but this is one of the most brilliant pieces of, I think this is one of the best rearrangings that I enjoy from the manga to the anime. For example, one of them that surprised me a lot was, for those that have read the manga, Ymir's story, and I don't mean Ymir the founder, I mean Ymir is Historia's friend. Her backstory is revealed all the way after, like the fall of like the battle for Shiganshima. like a ways off, like almost close to a little bit before the time jump. But in season 2, it's rearranged and it's introduced in season 2, which was a very interesting way of rearranging it because it makes sense to put it there because that's the only season that we see Ymir, right? So
You know, when you started telling the story, I'm like, wait, was that this episode? I could have sworn this was years ago.
yeah,
Oh,
and
jeez.
but the reason I say that is because this particular episode is a combination of chapter 123 of the anime, of the manga, and chapter 130. And it's funny because the last episode is the first half of chapter 130. And so they took these 2 episodes to be able to show the the two sides, to be able to show the duality of Eren through Mikasa's eyes and then showing who Eren really is.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that decision. And it makes me think, okay, Isayama, I see you. I see what you're trying to do. You're trying to do things differently to make this the ultimate edition. You know what I mean? Like I kind of see him working those things. I found very exciting.
Yeah,
But
I couldn't remember exactly where the split came from, but I'm like, we're merging stories because this is not the order it happened.
yeah.
And it's definitely feeling like that Blade Runner final cut, right?
Yes.
That extended
Yes.
edition.
And it's funny because I don't know if you noticed, but there's a flashback that Gene has like 2 episodes ago when they're thinking about the rumbling and making the decision that he has a flashback of that scene with those immigrants partying with the immigrants. You have a bit of a flashback.
I remember that.
When he thinks that they're about to die because of the rumbling, right? And I was actually waiting for this to happen. I was actually very troubled because I thought that this chapter was not going to be covered. And now that I see it here, I think that's one of the reasons why I love the episode so much, because I feel that like Isayama didn't forget what I wanted. Like Santa. No. But so it was great. But what happens in this part, in the beginning part with Mikasa, that's so powerful, right? Everybody's like amazed at the outside world, right? Like apparently Hanji, Sasha, and by the way, Sasha, oh my god, the fact that
I miss Sasha.
we got more time with Sasha. The fact that Sasha, Sasha, Connie, and Hanji start chasing a car and are buying carrots. Like, there's so much great comedy here, so genuine. Like the idea that they're dumbfounded by everything they're seeing, their discovery of ice cream, right? But they're all like that. And then there's Eren. And Eren is not enjoying anything. He's just observing, meeting humanity outside the walls for the first time. And what I find that shakes me to my core in terms of the whole story is that look how important this moment was. So when the whole thing with the pickpocket happens, right? These guys, our main characters, have never left Paratus, right? So they know about the horrors of the Titans. They know about the stories that they've heard from Yelena and Zeke and all these guys. But they've never seen racism in their face.
Yeah.
They've never seen it. That's the first time. And you can see their fear. You can see their disgust. You can see how, especially when they start, because at the beginning, they talk about the kid, and it's like, we should cut his arm off so he doesn't steal. We should hang him up in a pole so everybody can see him, which is kind of like, it's like a reference to lynching or something like that. Like, they're not talking about him being alive. You know what I mean?
I mean, they literally mentioned drowning him like a sentence earlier. So
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, so it's like, it's horrible. And then suddenly they start saying, what if he's one of the subjects of Ymir? And then everything changes. Now they're no longer scared for the kid. They're scared for themselves because now they're seeing all this. and Eren is seeing all this. I kind of was expecting to see like this whole, the big crazy angry face that we got from Eren when he was in the memories from the future. You remember what I'm talking about? I was kind of expecting that, but I kind of like that didn't happen because it's kind of showing you like Eren's just taking this in the background. And I try and get into Eren's head, and it makes me think like they're trying to like now we find out that they went to Marley because apparently there's a faction of subjects of Ymir that are getting together that are trying to protect and gather other subjects of Ymir to kind of have like their own protection or like their own group, right? To protect each other. And when they go to this assembly, these subjects of Ymir want to protect other subjects of Ymir, but none of them from the island. Which is like, it's crazy, right? They only care about those that are not in the island. So even without having a word with them or trying or considering, they're already contaminated in thinking in terms of hatred because these people have been treated like crap because of the subjects of Ymir and Paratus. So they're treating Paratus like crap.
Yeah.
So Paratus is the enemy. And that's when Eren just left, which it makes me think that Eren actually tried and kind of like he didn't leave till he was 100% certain that there was no other way. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So like this entire time, Eren, we've been talking about how Eren is heartless and cold because he's going to destroy the entire globe essentially, right, with this rumbling and protect the people of Paradis. And so I think you're right in that moment. Like he was giving them a chance. He was trying to get a feel for what the other side of the water felt like and their attitude towards the people of Paradis. And it's in that moment, like Mikasa straight up says, that's when it changed, right? That's when he got set in his mind, I'm going to go through with this. That was the last straw because he learned everything he needed to know that no matter where they go, they're going to be feared and people are going to wish for them to die. Yeah. And so he might as well take out the enemy first.
No, and not only that, that's when he left. Like because remember when we find him in the beginning of the final season,
2 seasons ago.
Yeah, he's not with the scouts anymore.
Right.
Which, by the way, can we talk about that line where Hanji says, "Us being here reminds me of our original mission." Is that the scouts were created to learn what's outside the walls. So it makes you think the cost of knowledge, the curse of knowledge. There's like a proverbial Solomon vibe here. like having knowledge of what's out there hurts, right?
Not just that, it also just puts in perspective how long we've been with these characters, right? Like next year is the 10th anniversary of Attack on Titan.
Yes.
And it's like, that is just crazy to think that, that was so long ago, but the original goal was to just get outside of the walls.
Yep. And they made it, and it's not that great.
Yeah, it's awful.
It's horrible. And
they have ice cream though. That's neat.
Oh my god. Yes, and they have weird ass clowns.
That was so creepy.
Isaac, what do you have to say about this clown?
Pennywise.
I love clowns.
Oh damn it.
Well said. That's one of the best comedic bits for me is that like just seeing the perspective of Levi. Because sometimes you forget how short he is until they do that pan out.
Yes.
And you realize he's like a child next to everybody else in this cast. Yep. And it's just like it was a great visual gag.
I think the only time that you actually recognize how grown up he is when you see him grabbing teacups a weird way. Because there's so much style and panache in the way he grabs that cup. But yeah, there's a lot of little touches. Like there's no intro, right? They wanted to use every single second they could. There's no preview for part 3 either.
Am I mistaken? Because there wasn't even a to be continued in part 3 online. Like, did you guys get anything like that?
There was a to be continued at the end of the chapter, and then it goes black.
Gotcha.
It goes to black because, interestingly enough, I don't know if you noticed, they put all the credits, the beginning credits and the end credits, they were all placed in the beginning.
Yeah, that's why they felt like they ran for so long.
which, by the way, kudos to them to using the medium to their advantage. Because you got to think, what other anime has done this? Isaac, you've watched probably more anime than any human person should watch. Have you seen other shows do this? Apart from Demon Slayer, which is relatively new as well.
Not that I can remember.
Food Wars did it twice. I don't know why, but they did it twice.
How do you mean?
And the season finale, I think of like season 2 and 3, they skipped the intro and the theme song was a part of the show, and then the credits kind of rolled in through the show. It was weird.
But what I mean is, in the way they're dividing the final season.
Oh, in that sense, no. Yeah, probably just Demon Slayer.
Yep, episode list, different lengths, all to service the story. I wouldn't be surprised if we get another 9 episodes, 1 episode per chapter, because that would be, I mean, they've done it before, right? So why wouldn't they do it now? I would be surprised if they don't. If they do, I'm pretty confident we're probably going to get 6 to 7 episodes. Probably pull a Game of Thrones. Like the final season is going to be shorter, but the episodes might be a little bit longer.
Yeah,
maybe.
I just want to address Perp's comment right here. No, I don't think Pennywise traumatized Levi. He fought so many Titans across his lifetime.
Yeah,
the clown was probably embarrassing, if anything.
he would just say, "That's a clown Titan. Take him down."
Right.
AOT is the closest. Let's see, Perp. AOT is the closest thing we're getting to a cinematic experience in animation form. I think that's why. I'm not going to argue with that. I'm not, because it's great. I'm not going to argue with that. So it's funny, the whole thing with them eating and whatever, with the whole immigrants and everything. But the whole thing, huh?
Nothing. Hamilton joke. Move on.
So now the whole thing with Eren leaving, I that is so heartbreaking, because I like how it goes full circle, like Isaac was saying. Now we know how Eren ended up without a leg, without an eye.
Oh, that was brutal.
I like the fact that they were able to capture the brutality in this, and it wasn't tasteless. You know what I mean? It wasn't like gory for gore's sake. I like the fact that they blacked it out at the end, but you can still see the intensity of the animation in the eyes, and like if it was an actor doing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I like how they captured all that. And I also like the whole thing that Eren, how the emphasis with Eren's explanation or Eren's thinking is that he's not doing it for himself. Because you would think that someone like this is being selfish. Someone like this is just thinking about glory. But he's genuinely doing it for what he thinks is right. And the last point I would like to bring forward is that in that conversation with Historia, which, by the way, I'm glad that we actually saw her again. We haven't seen her in like forever.
Almost like I forgot about her at this point.
Yeah. So, but I like the fact that she's one of the main people that he discusses his plans with. And it's kind of tragic how it brings her story full circle as well, in the sense that she's a ruler that can't do anything for her people, kind of, because she can't even stop. And how she kind of chooses not to stop Eren because she kind of agrees with the reasons, kind of. But what Eren says, that this is the only way to end the cycle of violence. He needs to erase the history and the civilization. And this is the Matrix. So Aaron is pretty much giving himself the role of, what's the name of the architect? Yeah, I know I'm doing this. He's giving himself the role of the architect to be able to reconstruct. But
I'm sorry. Isaac
I
got
haven't
me.
read it. What did he read? You can say that over the phone, but if I had you here, that is amazing.
That's just a great scene of Batman 66 altogether, but that's a really great meme. Yeah, so one thing about Aaron's character in this episode is also a little hypocritical, right? He's gonna solve, funny. Gotta love Sasha memes. But he's got to it's kind of hypocritical because he's gonna solve this hatred with effectively more hatred.
Yes.
And that's the flaw of his character. And that's
Right.
again why the intro is so powerful.
Yep.
Because the lyrics are, I just want to do the right thing. I didn't want to be the king. And it's like, Aaron is at this crossroads, right?
Yep.
And he made his decision. It's not like he's struggling with it, but it's like,
right.
Destroy humanity to protect the ones you love, or risk them forever being hunted and killed.
Right.
And that's why it's like they frame it in a way where you totally get why Aaron is going through with it, which is something that I think they really needed to do over the first two parts of this final season, because we don't spend as much time with Aaron as we did in the previous seasons.
Right.
And so it's always been, what's going on with Aaron? Isaac, you're killing me, dude.
He's just
it's like, what's going on with Aaron? How did he change? Why did he change? Blah, blah, blah. And it's finally like, okay, we get it.
Yeah.
Now, how do we live with it? Because everybody's right and everybody's wrong.
Yep. Correct. And also, and you know what? It's funny you say that, because here's the other side of the equation, which I think makes it, because you mentioned hypocritical, and I can see that. But now it's still hypocritical when he's removing himself from the equation at the end of it all. Because when you think about it, yes, he's using more violence to end the cycle, right? But then you can kind of hear him kind of talking about the fact that after him doing this, he's not going to be around. You know what I mean? Like he's not looking to be there to administer more violence. He's kind of acting like an environmental disaster as opposed to him putting up a new regime, which you can say, Brandon, that's bullshit, because Flock is doing all this heavy lifting for the Jaegerist over here, right? But again, I don't think it doesn't show that Aaron made him become this cult leader, right?
I mean, even if he didn't, though, Aaron is literally sending thousands and thousands of Titans to destroy the planet.
Correct. Correct. But you got to think about it, though. He's not doing it to establish power, which I think is a very important distinction. You understand what I'm saying?
I push back on that a little, because isn't wiping out everybody establishing power, like establishing parity as the only surviving country in the world?
I agree. But here's the big difference, though. Most people in history, right, that do an undertaking or that conquer a place or bring about destruction is for them to set their own way to rule a new civilization, right? That's what Aaron isn't doing, because he's removing himself from the equation.
I want to ask you this right quick, though.
Yeah.
You're saying he's removing himself from the equation. Like he said in this episode, he only has about 4 years left anyway.
Right.
If you think he had more time, do you think his actions would be any different?
Because I know who he is since he was a kid, I would say no.
Mhm.
Because his desire for freedom was innate in him prior to Titan abilities. That's my take.
I think it'd be pretty much the same too.
You know,
and
you know what I mean?
I have
Yeah,
one more
it's
question for you though.
go.
It's a little off topic, but it's on topic with the episode.
Isaac, is there a reason for
I like if somebody's listening to this, it's audio only. Sorry, Isaac is just ruining every train of thought we have here.
yes.
Attack on Titans is YouTube only, so
Yay!
Yeah.
Still,
Yes.
no. But my question is, Mikasa in this episode is questioning if she responded to Eren differently.
Yeah.
Would that have changed things? I don't think it would have, but
I don't think it would
have
have
changed anything.
I wouldn't. But you know what? It's funny that you say that because I think the goal of Isayama's goal with that scene was kind of to show us a different kind of Mikasa because we rarely see her questioning her actions.
Yeah.
Most of the times we see people questioning her and questioning why she's doing this or why she isn't. I like the fact that we're finally seeing her judge herself and making a decision herself, which goes back to the whole thing about Eren wanting people to be free, to make the choice they want, yada, yada, yada. And like it goes back to the whole thing with Annie. Like, are you willing to kill him? And if not, are you willing to stand by while someone kills him? Right?
Right.
And I think her going through this train of thought is how you see her digesting this idea of like, because she's not just saying, what if I saw him differently? She's also saying, what did I see in this guy? like she's having like, I mean, I don't want to sound insensitive, but like we never see her daydream like a woman or girl would. So because because it makes you think, because we know that Mikasa, we know she loves Eren. Like that's not like a question, right?
Right.
And we know that it's the lines are blurred. They're like cousins. No, I'm kidding. So like there's a connection there, right? I don't know. That was a bad redneck joke. I'm sorry. So cousin Vinny. They sleep with their no, oh my god. So
oh my,
bring the memes back, Isaac, quick.
no, but it's like she's questioning, what did I see in this guy? And it kind of makes you think, is she really thinking, how convinced is she that what Eren is doing is wrong? And is she convinced enough that she's willing to take action against him? And that's like the biggest challenge of her life.
And because it's kind of the same situation Armin was put in earlier, right? Where he was almost in denial of Eren wouldn't do this. He clearly has another plan.
Yeah,
he did. Like that faith was validated, but it still didn't go the way Armin expected.
Right. And especially when he says, wait, all the walls are down. But if he just did these side, it would have been enough. But then it's like, nope.
Yeah.
And I like the line where Mikasa goes, maybe we all knew who he really was, and we just didn't want to see it. We just didn't want to see what he wanted to do, what he had to offer. Damn it, Isaac.
Hey, he wanted another meme.
Damn it, Mike.
I'm gonna take responsibility for that one.
100%.
I'm sorry.
No. But yeah, man. I mean, it's like the extremes, right? And Eren's taking the extreme route. It's not the right route, but there's an argument to be made in the world that he was living. Did he have a choice? You know, it's he had the power to do it.
Yeah.
And you got to think about it. And again, I'm not justifying genocide. I don't want to be sounded like podcast
Should I bring more
justifies
memes,
genocide.
Mike?
No, we're good. We can power through this one.
But it makes you think, what did all the founders, all the previous founding titans do? They just sat in their throne room and allowed Paratus' people to die. Subjects of Ymir die all over the world. Titans to be a threat all over. And be on a standstill and there for the pickings for anybody that would come and conquer them. Right? They were living like cattle. Everybody was a prisoner without knowing that they were a prisoner. Again, the Matrix. So, bro, this show is a Matrix analogy. Think about it. He would erase the memories. I think Isayama likes the Matrix. We got to have a conversation. We're going to invite him over. And guys, we're going to interview Isayama and ask him if he likes the Matrix. But I didn't see it before. Think about it. The freaking... The founding titan would erase everyone's memory, so nobody knew history beyond that. All they knew is life within the walls. That's the Matrix. He rebooted society, and he's about to do the same thing, but differently.
Yep, exactly.
I don't know, man.
It's
dark. It's crazy. It's interesting, and we don't have to agree, but it's like the movie Joker. This whole show is making me think about that movie again. Because that's not a movie that you watch and go like, what a phenomenal film. I was so inspired. You know what I mean? Like, no, you go to that film because of the acting and because you want to feel uncomfortable. Does that make sense? Like, you're supposed to feel uncomfortable by the nuance, by the revelations, by the insight. I don't know. It's one of the most controversial stories I've read in my life. I'm loving this show, guys.
Attack on Titan, I don't quite agree with the Joker comparison because I feel like there's way more depth and I feel like it's way more accessible than a film like Joker.
Yes.
But I totally get how you get a similar vibe from it for sure.
Yeah. Like certain parts of it, it's not like you watch. It's not like you're meant to walk. I think like you're correct in what you're saying. I think to be more specific, like the creators behind it expect you to walk away uncomfortable.
Yeah, we weren't applauding when Aaron's mom got eaten 10 years ago.
And we're not applauding when Aaron's doing the genocide.
Right.
But we walk away uncomfortable because it's interesting and because we kind of understand the why, which makes you think the whole argument around the fire, around the campfire in that episode where the Avengers assembled, right?
Mm-hmm.
The power of dialogue, the power of understanding. We can understand Eren without agreeing with it, which is something that we direly need with the world. Not genocide, understanding.
I hope the YouTube algorithm understands that because they'll just pick up every time you say genocide and then be like, nope, blocked.
You know what? Now I know why Isayama's called it the rumbling. He hasn't used the word.
Yep.
This episode has gone. You know what, Isaac? Bring the memes. I think we need a meme.
Unfortunately, I don't have any more memes, unfortunately.
Do you have a pun to lighten the mood at least?
Not on the spot, unfortunately.
Can we just appreciate getting one last ride with Sasha?
Yes.
That I feel like that lightens the mood by itself. It's just like, we needed that. We needed that break.
Not only that, and they were very smart too, because they didn't just bring Sasha back, right? They brought her back and used food. You know what I mean? Like they brought Sasha back in the best way.
Ice cream is wonderful. Get major Wonder Woman vibes.
Yes. Yes, it is. Yes. Wait, is Sasha Wonder Woman?
She is in our hearts.
Yes. I mean, she has the bow and arrow. Okay. So, guys, so much on this episode. What a great way to end part 2. A lot of dividing thoughts, but so many
You mean
great
season
thoughts from
5?
everybody. Stop it, Isaac.
I mean, am I wrong?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
They're not even calling it season 4. They're calling it the final season and then going beyond that. But I don't know, guys. You guys like anything else? Any left in the tank?
Nope. I'm just excited for season 6 or part 3, whichever we're going to call it.
So, guys, here it is. Our thoughts. Attack on Titan, the final season part 2 finale. If you guys let us know what you think. Do you guys agree with any of us? Do you agree with Aaron? Do you agree with anything going on in the show? What are you excited? What are your predictions for the ending of Attack on Titan? We've read the book, but we're not going to spoil anything for you guys. So if you guys have read the book, please do not spoil it for anybody else. So use spoiler tags in the comments if you're going to spoil anything from the ending. But let us know. Do you have any predictions? If you're anime onlys, do you have any predictions for part 3? Are you excited that it's going to be a episode part 3 and not a movie? We're excited. We called it. Yes, dibs. But we can't wait for it to come back. We're not going to be doing live streams for a while on Sundays, but we're still going to do awesome content every week. We're gonna find ways to do more shorts and more news and stuff like that during the week, and keep the content coming and going. We'll figure out a day to do another live stream, and keep you guys updated. Guys, what do we got coming? Let's say goodbye little by little, but also what do we got coming up? You guys have you guys have My Hero Academia this week? What are you guys going?
Well, I guess I'll take lead on this one. We have no My Hero Academia this week because it is on break, but we should have My Hero Academia Vigilantes. And I know we discussed doing My Dress Up Darling, so that should be popping up this week as well. Fantastic series. Can't wait to talk about it with these guys. And if you guys didn't know, Brandon, I believe you and Isaac did cover the manga when that was wrapping up.
Yeah, we did do an anime manga. Yeah, we did the manga ending. We did it on the podcast, right, Isaac?
You're talking about the Attack on Titan manga ending.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
we
manga
did one
readers,
of
if they
them.
want to listen to that, they can go check that out too.
Yeah. I'll make sure to put a link in the description or show you guys the link so we can put it on there.
Nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I know for sure we have coming up this week. And also check out the chatter after. We did an episode on The Godfather, and we have Good Will Hunting, Blade Runner, The Last of Us 2, and The Batman coming up. So that's definitely something to look out for as well.
Super exciting. Well,
we have also Doron, our upcoming episode soon. We have recorded My Ordinary Life or Chaotic Life X1000. I just don't know where I should scheduling it.
Nichijou is amazing.
And we are soon to be starting with Kaiju number 8 also.
Yes. Very exciting manga and anime stuff. So Isaac, where can people find you so we can head out?
Well, you can find me over at my work over at Wobum Entertainment, and you can find me on Emblemaniac on Twitter.
Mr. Mike?
You can find me at Novice Cinephile on all social media platforms and here on YouTube, youtube.com/Novice Cinephile. I have a video on The Legend of Korra coming up in like 10 days, so check that out. It's going to be the 10th anniversary for Korra. A bunch of YouTubers are putting on a celebration for Korra's anniversary, so stay tuned for that. And I'll make sure we link all of that content in the description. And yeah, again, chatter after every other week, going to be on the channel as well, talking movies with these guys. So it should be fun.
And you can find me at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Twitter, at the Scarlet Fan 52 on Instagram, and at the Scarlet Fan 52 on TikTok, even though I have no idea why I'm there. And you can follow us at Amateur Otaku Pod on Twitter. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel, click on the like button, and click on the bell for notifications so you do not miss any episodes, any streams, any coverage on your favorite manga and anime. Have it awesome, guys. Peace.
Susagayo, susagayo.
Thumbs.
Sin de morengo sasageyo.